Okay, hi everybody. I'm an alcoholic and my name is Roy. And
Hi, sir.
hi, and I'm sober today. And now I request everyone to please mute your mics. That would be very kind if you do that. So sorry I was not able to attend last week, but I was at my original home group in Bombay where I was giving gratitude for completing 33 years of uninterrupted sobriety, for which I'm grateful. So today we are into step 10, 11, and 12. I'll just do a quick summary of 1 to 9 what we have seen so far. So if you have come to an AA meeting, if this is your first time, just want to let you know that AA is a fellowship of people who have solved their drinking problem. We don't drink anymore, we have recovered. How we recovered is described in a book called Alcoholics Anonymous, the big book. Those are the directions for recovering from alcoholism. And I came to AA in 1984. And for 6 years, I was trying to stay sober by using the sharings I heard at the meetings, by listening to stories of other members, how they drank and where they fell and whatnot. And it was not working for me. Finally, in 1990, I got a sponsor who said, we will do the steps. And the steps are described in the big book of AA. And we started the steps. It took me about 4 months. And once I was done, I have not drunk again. And it's been 33 years. So the first step is we admitted we are powerless over alcohol, that our lives have become unmanageable. So the first part, powerlessness, is explained on page 44. There are two questions. Can you stop drinking? Can you control your drinking? I could not do either, so I'm powerless. Second part is unmanageability. That's described on page 52. Mute your mics, please. That's described on page 52. There are 8 questions. They call them the bedevilments. How's my personal relationships? How's my emotions? Am I miserable and depressed? Am I able to make a living? Am I unhappy, full of fear? Do I feel useless? Can I be of help to other people? All of that I couldn't do. So then you go to page 30 and it says we admitted we are powerless over alcohol. We admitted we are an alcoholic to our innermost selves. So who is an alcoholic? That's covered in the doctor's opinion. And Dr. Silkwood says that alcoholism consists of 2 parts. A physical reaction where when certain people drink, the body craves more. That was me. My mind would say, have 2 drinks. My body said, keep drinking. And the second part was a mental illness where despite the lost jobs, the broken engagements, the enlarged livers, the accidents, my mind kept saying, Arey, this time you drink, you'll be okay, you'll be fine. So I was powerless, I was unmanageable, and I was able to admit that. So step 1 on page 30 says, admit to my innermost self. I admitted it. Now we go to step 2. Came to believe a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. There's 3 parts: belief, sanity, and power. First, look at sanity. On page 23, they say the main problem of the alcoholic is an obsession that somehow you'll beat the game. Today, I'll be able to have 2 and stop. Page 24, I'll be able to drink like other people. I'll be able to have 1 drink like my mom does every evening. Page 30, great obsession that I will control and enjoy my drinking. This is my insanity. Despite my track record, I kept thinking that I could do those 3 things. Control and enjoy, drink like other people, beat the game. That's my insanity. I have failed on my own power because I took step 1. So, what kind of higher power can I get? So, on page 46, it says if you don't believe in God, if you're an atheist or you're an agnostic, at least you have admitted that you don't have the power, then form your own conception of God. Anything that's greater than you. a group of drunks, good orderly direction, whatever. And on what proof do I have that this will work? On page 52, they say, here are thousands of alcoholics, worldly indeed, they have solved the drink problem. So if people like me have been able to stop drinking, how did they do it? Then you come to page 47, and it says, as soon as a man can admit he does believe, or is willing to believe in a power greater than himself, he's on his way. So step one is done, step two is done. How long do you have to wait with step three? And on page 60 of the book, after the ABCs, it says, being convinced, we were at step. What am I convinced about? A, that I'm powerless and could not manage your own life. B, that probably no human power could have relieved my alcoholism. And C, that God could and would if he was sought. That's step one and step two. And if I'm convinced, then I make a decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of, not over to the care of. My will is my thinking. My life is my actions based on my thinking. And my actions always got me in trouble. So if I turn it over to the care of my higher power, I stand a better chance of success today. On page 62, it tells us what we have to do. It says at the bottom, it says first we decided that we're going to stop playing God. Oh, how do I play God? Page 60, 61. I'm like the actor who wants to be the director. You go here, you go there, you do this, you do that, I'll be happy. People don't do it. They retaliate. I get resentful, I drink. So first we decided God is going to be our director. Next, we said that God is going to be the director, he's going to be the principal, and he's going to be the father. And they give us a prayer on page 63, which we can use if we want. Or it says you can write your own prayer as long as it says the thing. So that is how quickly the 3 steps are done. If you want what we have and are willing to go to any lengths to get it, you're ready to take the steps. Then you can take them. Page 44 and 52, powerless and manageable. Page 30, take step 1. Doctor's opinion is the disease. Step 2, when can you take it? Page 47. As soon as you can say there's a power. What power? Page 46, your own conception. And why do I need this power? Because of my insanity. Page 23, beat the game. Page 24, drink like other people. Page 30, that I will control and enjoy. Now I've taken step 3. I've taken turn my will and life over. Can I now take a break? No. Page 64, it says, though step 3 was vital and crucial. Vital means life-giving. And then the warning, little permanent effect unless at once followed by step 4, which is an effort to face and to be rid of the things which have been blocking us. What has been blocking me? And they say there are 4 things that are blocking me. Resentments, fear, sexual misconduct, and harms done to others. So they cover resentments on 64, 65. What are we angry at? Why are we angry? What got affected inside me? Self-esteem, money, ambitions, personal relations, sex relations, pride, fear. How do I get out of that? Page 66, 67, we pray, God save me from being angry. Let me be helpful to this person. And then the third part on page 67. What did I do to these people? Why did I do it? What were my defects? Am I willing to make amends? Then they look at fear on page 67, 68. What is my fear? Why do I have it? And what is the solution? We ask God what to do. Why God? Because we have just made a decision in 3 that God is in charge. Now we come to step 4, sex, 68, 69. They said, look, this sex is not about what position of the Kama Sutra you did last night or how many people you slept with. Not at all. They talk about the conduct. Where was I selfish, dishonest, inconsiderate? Selfish, came home, wife was sick, demanded sex. Dishonest, I'm flirting with the girls in the office, coming home, darling, I love you. Give me sex. Inconsiderate. I don't care how tired she is or sick. I want means I want. I cheated on. This is my sex and conduct inventory, and try to be better from there onwards. And then on page 70, the last inventory, harms done to others. People we have hurt by conduct. All the employers that we worked half time and took full pay. All those taxi drivers we vomited in their cabs. All the people whose studies we disturbed by our drunken behavior. People whose lives we put in danger by drunken driving. You have to make that list. That's step 4. Now at least we can take a rest after doing step 4. No. On page 75 it says we finish writing, we waste no time. At once we reach out to our step guide, whom in AA we call a sponsor, and we share 2 inventories with him. One, we share the life story. We talk, we don't write a life story. I don't know who got the idea to write it. I'd like to shoot that son of a gun. The second part is we share a written inventory. Resentments, fear, sex and harms. Then we come to step 6. Again, there's no wastage of time. Immediately after the 5th step, we meditate for 1 hour on the first 5 steps. And then we come to page 76. There are 4 steps there. Step 6, 7, 8. Step 6 is that look at the step. We have a list of character defects. Do we want to hold on to any of them? Suppose you have 20 defects and you want to hold on to 2 or 3. You ask for willingness to let go. That is step 6. What do I do with the remaining 17 defects? Next paragraph. If you are ready to have your concept of God removed, then you say that step 7 is done. Now what about step 8? Next paragraph it says now we need more action. And it says we already have a list of all the people we hurt. That's from step 4. So now we start to decide what amends to make. There are some amends we can make right now, today. There are some amends we'll have to do a little later. Maybe save some money, track a person down. There are some amends we are not sure if we can make those amends. We might get into trouble, somebody else might get hurt. And there are some amends we can never make. So that was step 8. How can I take a break? No. It says now we go out to repair the damage. So see the speed at which the first 100 members who wrote this book, they have designed this program to be done quickly. I know when I was new, people, Arey, take your time, there is no hurry, there's no rush. Boss, I got this illness called alcoholism. I want to be well as soon as possible. Is my life perfect? Absolutely not. Have I made mistakes? Many of them. But have I found it necessary to drink again? No. Even on my worst days, I have not found it necessary. So in step 9, they gave us different examples. On page 77, they talked about difficult amends, people who hate us, people whom we hate. On page 78, they talked about financial amends. 78, 79, 80, they talked about criminal amends, petty amends, stealing from the office. More serious amends, not paying alimony to the ex-wife. More serious crimes, cheating people out of money. And they gave examples of that, and I did pay. Then on page 81 and 82, they talked about sexual amends. They said, look, in this respect, AAs are not different from other people. You're not saints. This stuff happens. What can we do about it? If we are sorry for what we have done, God will forgive us, take us to better things. Follow my sex inventory ideal. Throw myself harder to helping others. Stay away from those kind of situations that have caused trouble to other people and to myself. And then finally, they talk about the family amends on 82, 83. And they say, we can't just say, hey, great, I've stopped drinking. Now all of you start clapping hands and lay out the red carpet. He said, no, no. Page 83, we all happily read the promises. But at the top of the page, they talk about what we have to do. He said, there's a long period of reconstruction ahead. We must take the lead. We are the ones that have caused the problems to our family with our drinking. Their defects may be glaring, but most probably we were to blame. We have made them neurotic. So we take the lead. So that is the summary of step 1 to step 9. And now we are going to get into today's topic of 10, 11, and 12. So if you have your big book with you, you open to page 59. Step 10 says continue to take personal inventory. And when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. So when should I do the? And step 10 is really a summary of step 4 to 9. So when exactly should I do the 10th step? Now, very often when I was new and I would hear in sharings, and then I did my 10th step at night. I heard this for years. So I really was under the impression that the 10th step was something to be done at night only before going to sleep. But this is incorrect information because if you read the big book, now they talk about when they said on page 84, the third paragraph said this thought brings us to step 10, which shows that here's the word, continue to take personal inventory, continue to separate new mistakes as we cleaned up the past. Wow. So while I'm out there making my amends in step 9, I'm supposed to be simultaneously doing step 10 because it says I'm going to make new mistakes and I must clean them. And I do this as I clean up the past. Are? So when it says it's not a one-time deal, it says this is an overnight. This is not an overnight matter. It should continue for a lifetime. Now, of course, you don't expect me to spend the rest of my life walking around India with one notebook in my hand, writing down all the bloody wrong things I've done during the day. That is insanity. The program of A is not designed to make us be some kind of, glorified sadhu. It's supposed to be a practical program of living. So how exactly do I take this 10th step? And now they give us some simple instructions in that paragraph on page 18. It says, continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. Hey, that sounds like step 4. So today I'm in Pune today and I was working with a client and I was supposed to finish work on Tuesday. And for whatever reason, the client had to leave early. So on the one hand, I had to speed up my work so I could finish with the client. On the other hand, selfishly, I was very happy. I said, oh, wow, great. I can spend a little more time in Pune and meet all my AA friends and have a couple of days of vacation. So it says we do this while we're thinking of that. Dishonesty. But so far, I've not been dishonest. Resentment. I was a little resentful. I booked an Airbnb for tomorrow onwards. And then I asked the person, hey, can I move it forward to today? And they said, no, sorry, it's already full. I got resentful. Don't you know it's the famous Roy T calling, asking for a room? How dare you not give me a room? Then fear. Bloody hell, what if I don't get a room to stay tonight? So that is step. And look what it says, continue. Now the next instruction in the book says, when these crop up, not if, when. And that is step 6. Those are defects. So when these crop up, step 6, what should I do? We ask God at once to remove them. We don't wait till night to ask God. At once. So while I was sitting at the client's house and the calls came in, he had to leave, I was feeling very happy selfishly. And at once I just said, close my eyes and said a prayer and said, God, remove this selfishness and let the guy do what he has to do. So that is step 7. Then it says we discuss them with somebody immediately. Now I'm with the client. I'm not going to tell him, hey boss, I was very happy that you had to go. That would be insanity. So I waited till I got out out of and then the guy dropped me also to where I was going. And then after he left, I shared it with the member whom I had met. And today I'm sharing that again at this meeting. So we discuss it with someone immediately. The good thing about today's day and age, almost everybody has a cell phone. Almost everybody can send a text message or a WhatsApp and share it with somebody immediately. And doing that discussion is step 5. So step 4 identified I was selfish. Step 6, selfishness was the defect. Step 7, I has got to remove it. Step 5, I discussed it with somebody. Make amends quickly if we have harmed someone. No, I didn't harm him. I just had that feeling. I didn't say anything to the guy. So the amends don't apply. And after we have done that step, we said, then we can turn our thoughts, step 10, to someone we can help, step 12. And then I met the same member. We came here, we talked for a little while. And he asked me if there was somebody I could help. I said, yeah, I can definitely help that person. Now, what are the results of doing step 10? Again on page 84. Array, we have entered the world of the spirit. Love and tolerance of others is our goal. Just imagine, in step 2, we were willing to believe. In step 3, we made a decision. Some of us were agnostics, so atheists, and we still made the decision. In step 3, we turned our wills and lives over to the care of a God. In 4, we prayed for resentments, prayed for fear, prayed for the sex prayer. 5, we humbly shared it with God and with somebody else. 6, we prayed for willingness for defects. 7, we prayed for uh, defects to be removed. 8, we prayed for willingness to make amends. 9, we prayed for the strength and direction to make it. So all the way along, some form of prayer has been involved, whether it was willing or whether it was unwilling. But it was definitely involved over there. And then now in step 10, they're saying you do this on a regular basis through the day. What will you get? Entering the world of the spirit. Love and tolerance of others is the core. I may not like everybody in AA, but I have to love everybody because they are an alcoholic, not them personally. Tolerance. Array, I go for meetings. Sometimes I get so annoyed here. I'll sit at meeting and somebody's going on and on. Array, there's no need to do the steps. Just come for meetings with you. I get so angry. I get so intolerant. And I have to just pray and say, hey, you know what? How are they staying sober? If God is keeping them sober and God is choosing to keep them sober without doing steps and just making meetings, who am I to argue with God? But if I'm getting disturbed at this meeting by something someone is saying, whatever, I can leave the meeting. Nobody has got a gun to my head and say I have to be over here. So, can you put everyone's mics off, please? Thanks. And so, uh, this is one of the results of the step 10. And now we always, at many meetings, somebody's mic is on. Can you put it off, please? Midnight Stars moderator, turn your mic off, please.
Did
Because I lose my train of thought. Um, ha. So, at many meetings, we read the promise. Read the promises, read the promises. And we read the promises of the 9th step, which are nice promises. But the promise of the 10th step, for me personally, I find them even more powerful. If you go down to the bottom of page 84, let's see the promises. Promise number 1, and we have ceased fighting anything or anyone, even alcohol. Wow! Oh my God! Before I used to be fighting with everybody, especially when I was new. If you don't do the steps, this was, God bless you, yeah, enjoy your life. Now I'm not even fighting alcohol. I had to change the way I went home so I would not pass 2 bars and 3 liquor stores. I'm not fighting that anymore. Alcohol is not my problem. I went down to the cause and conditions. My problem was resentment, fear, sexual misconduct, harms to others, and the defects. That was my problem. So alcohol is not a fight. Promise number 2, for by this time sanity will have returned. Wow, sanity, wholeness of mind. In step 2, we were insane. In step 10, the sanity has been returned. I can think straight. I can sit today, I can watch an IPL cricket game, and every 4 or 5 balls there is some advertisement for some bottled water or some club soda, which is clearly made by some liquor company on the label. I don't find that water or club soda in any shops, but they advertise it. Sanity is returned. I'm not tempted by it. I'm not doing that at all. I'm watching the game. Promise number 3. We will seldom be interested in liquor. You know, I fly a lot because of my work, pass through so many airports. When I go to duty free, I'm first looking to see what chocolates are on sale, what perfume can I get, what aftershave can I get. I'm not interested in liquor. Only I'll go there if my brother has requested some specific bottle. He's not an alcoholic. Promise number 4. If tempted, we'll recoil it from it as if from a hot. Wow, what a fantastic promise. And I got to tell you, when I was new, on my way to becoming sober, I used to be tempted, yeah. I'd see some liquor in past a liquor store. I'll see it outside from the bus going to the meeting, or there were some parties I had to go for, and I would be tempted. And then this thing would come, recoiled from a hot flame, as if I put my hand on a stove and say, "Hey," give myself one slap on the head and say, "What are you thinking? That is poison for you." Promise number 5. I love this. We react sanely and normally, and we find that this has happened automatically. Wow, what a promise. You know, I have to socialize a lot. I have to go out and attend a lot of, not now, but in the USA, I was a director of 4 different companies, you know, and you have to go out a lot of social. Hey, Roy, what do you like to drink? Sane and normal reaction. No, thank you, I don't drink. You know, if somebody is diabetic and you ask them, hey, will you have some pedas? No, thank you, I don't eat sweets. Sane and normal reaction. It is sane and normal for an alcoholic when offered alcohol to say, no, thank you, I don't drink. Wow, what a promise. And they're saying it happens automatically. Promise number 6. Our new attitude towards liquor has been given without any thought or effort. It just comes. I don't have to get up in the morning and say, oh, today if somebody offers, I will react normally. I will recoil from a hot flame. I will not be interested. Just go live my life and it'll happen normally and automatically. Wow. No thought, no effort. It just comes. Promise number 7. That is the miracle of it. So that is a spiritual thing because a miracle is something that cannot be explained by. From age 14 when I started drinking till 28 when I stopped. I tried to stop so many times. I couldn't stop. And I come to AA, I do the 12 steps out of the. I come to AA, I meet meetings, I still can't stop. And then I do the 12 steps out of the big book of AA. And the miracle takes place. I've stopped. Promise number 8. Look at this one. We are not fighting it. Neither are we avoiding temptation. I'm not avoiding temptation. I'm not trying to avoid going to liquor stores and parties where there's alcohol. So, no. I'm not fighting it either. I'm not starting some crusade. Daru Bandi, let's have prohibition. Nah. Promise number 9. We feel as though we have been placed in a position of neutrality, safe and protected. The world has not changed, boss. I got sober 33 years ago. 33 years and 4 days ago. Last Saturday was 33. 40 years and 1 week ago. In fact, there's more alcohol now in the world. There's more brands. There's more kinds of alcohol. There's pubs all over India. There's micro brew. Oh, I don't know what all is there, but I'm in a neutral place. I'm safe. God has kept me unharmed. Promise number 10. We have not even sworn off. I have not put my hand on a Quran or Gita or Bible or Granth Sahib and sworn Torah that is it. I'm never going to drink again. And look at this. Instead, the problem has been removed. It does not exist. Alcohol was not the problem. Page number 64 of the big book. Our liquor was but a symptom. The problem is my thinking. And my thinking is dictated to by my instincts, which is anger, fear, sexual misconduct, harms to others, and the defects. And that problem has been removed. Am I doing step 3, step 6, step 7, making my amends in 9? Promise number 11. We are neither cocky nor are we afraid. That is our experience. I'm not cocky. Oh, come on, chalo. Put me in one bar with 10 beers in front of me and I won't. That's madness. We are not doing that. But we are not afraid. If we have to go out for dinner with people and they want to drink, that's fine. If we have to go out dancing with somebody and my date wants to drink, I'm not afraid to go on that date. That is our experience. And promise number 12. That is how we react. These above 11 promises, as long as we keep in fit spiritual condition. Wow, what fantastic promises. I personally prefer these to the 9-step promises which I read in meetings. Now, that is what I personally prefer. That's the best part of AA. You can do what you want. If you want to don't drink, AA knows how. Read the book, do the steps. But there are other ways also. Now what? So this 10th step is to be done through the day. So what will happen if I discontinue 10th step? Who needs to do this constant inventory taking? Page 85, it's a warning. It is easy to let up on the spiritual program of action and rest on our laurels. We are headed for trouble if we do, for alcohol is a subtle foe. No? We need to maintain a spiritual condition. How do I maintain my spiritual condition? By doing the steps. That's what I need to do. And what should I do to maintain the spiritual condition? Every day is a day when I must try to do God's will in my life, it says in the next paragraph. That is the proper use of will. Oh, wow. In step 2, I was insane. In step 10, I got my sanity back. In step 3, I gave my will over to the care of God. In step 10, I am getting my will back. Please read very carefully. As long as I can use my will to do God's will. See, I always give this example of step 3. Care, turnover, not a handover. That when my child was small, we used to turn him over to the daycare center. And they would take care of him, feed him, teach him ABC, this, that, and the other. And in the evening, they would return him. So in step 3 in the morning, I'm turning my thinking over to God and saying, look after my thinking, it's crazy. And every time I do a 10th step, I'm getting my will back. How amazing is that? What about spiritual benefits of step 10? So much has already been written, about the spiritual benefits. We are now entered the world of the spirit. So we will get a 6th sense. But to do that, we need more action. And now comes step 11. So step 11 starts on page 85 where it says it suggests prayer and meditation. And better people than people like me, the alcoholic, they use it and they benefit from it. Now the step 11 is divided into 4 parts. It's how to do the 11th step at night, how to do the 11th step in the morning, how to do the 11th step when I don't know what to do, and how to do the 11th step when I'm disturbed. So the 10th step I'm supposed to be doing during the day. Continuing watch for selfish, dishonest. So step 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. It's a summary. Now what happens in step 11? So I open my book to page 86. Okay. And there are some instructions over there. There's a set of questions and directions. It says, when we retire at night, we constructively review our day. This is not daydream. Constructively review. So now it's 10:45. So before I sleep tonight, I will review my day. Review means what? I will put on my videotape and I play from morning till now constructively. Not when I wake up in the morning, did I brush my teeth? No. Oh, when I woke up in the morning, you know, uh, did I say my first step, second step, third step, fourth step, seventh step prayer? Did I read some spiritual material? Yes. Did I spend little time in 11th step morning prayer? Yes. Did I prepare my bag for leaving today? Yes. Did I tip the staff in that place? Did I inform my A member of my plans? Yes. So I constructed, was I resentful? Oh, I was selfish earlier when I was happy that my client was waiting. So I constructively reviewed it. I came over here, met with my friend, we went out, we had some pani puri and all, and came back. Now we go through the questions of the 11th step. Question 1. Were we resentful, selfish, dishonest, or afraid today from morning? Yeah, I was little selfish, but I took care of it that time. Question 2. Do I owe anybody an apology for today? Something I may have missed in test. Nah. Number 3. Have we kept something to ourselves which should be discussed with another person at once? Today? No. No major, nothing. Number 4. Was I kind and loving to all? Mostly. Number 5. What could we have done better? I could have had a little better attitude in the morning. Number 6. Were we thinking of ourselves all the time, most of the time? No, I was not thinking only of myself all the time. I was thinking of other people. So, number 7. Were we thinking of what we could do for others, what we could pack into the stream of life? Yes. I was thinking, oh, I should, maybe if I change this here, change that there, I can be able to help some people. That's work related. Number 8. Must be careful not to drift no worry, morbid remorse, or reflect. But that will diminish our use. Was I worried, remorseful, and morbidly reflecting today? No, I didn't do that. And finally, after making this review tonight, I will ask God's forgiveness and inquire what corrective action should be taken. And I make mistakes through the day, and I have to do that. I was sitting and talking with my friend, and my friend, it's so funny that we're talking about step 11 because my friend said, hey, I want to share something with you. I'm on this spiritual path and I've got this great thing I want you to listen. Just listen for 5 minutes. Okay. So here I am, the great open-minded AA fellow. And my friend started playing this spiritual talk by some spiritual person. Instead of listening with an open mind and an open heart, you know what I was doing? I said, Arey, this is not correct. I don't agree with that. This makes no sense. I was just being totally critical. So now after this talk, I have to go and make amends to my friend. Well, see, this is how one does. I did not pick this up because I didn't do a 10 step at that time. This is where the 11 step comes in. It's like a safety net. In case we forgot something through the day, it'll pick this up. That's all we have to do. The thinking and the reflecting on the day is called meditation. And the one line, ask God's forgiveness and inquire what corrective measures, that is called prayer. This is the A method of meditation and prayer at night. What is the 11th step for the morning? On awakening, instruction number 1. On awakening, let us think about the 24 hours ahead. When I woke up, I thought, what do I have to do today? Oh, I have to get my clothes from the Dhobi. I have to pack my bag. I have to make arrangements for an Airbnb. I got to do this. I made a whole list. It says, number 2, we consider our plans for the day. I write them down. Some people write them by hand. Some people use a list on their mobile phones, whatever you want. But before we begin, number three, we ask God to direct our thinking. Why? Because page 23, main problem is in the mind. Especially asking that we divorce from self-pity, dishonest or self-seeking motives. Number four, under these conditions, we can employ mental faculty assurance. For God gave us brains to use. And there were some idiots in AA when I came in. They say, "Ale, if you think you're so smart, leave your brains outside." Obviously, those members had not read the big book because it says we can use our mental faculties with assurance. For God gave us brains to use. And then now finally, number five, our thought life will then be placed on a much higher plane when our thinking is cleared of wrong motives. So this is the 11th step for the morning. But which part? The meditation part. Where is the prayer part of the 11th step of the morning? On page 87, the second paragraph, it says, we usually conclude the period of meditation, making all these plans and all, with a prayer that will be shown all through the day what next to do, and that we given whatever we need to take care of such problems. Prayer. We ask for freedom from self-will. That is step 3. Be careful to make no requests for ourselves. 4. We may ask for ourselves if others will be helped. Oh God, give me a Mercedes, I'm not getting. Oh God, give me a car, I can take 2 people for a meeting, I'll get a car. I've got, I don't know if you will get. My God is given me back in the day. We are never to pray for our own selfish ends. Many of us wasted a lot of time. So, boss, this is the 11th step at night, prayer and meditation. This is the 11th step in the morning. That's it. But sometimes I'm not sure what to do. If I'm not sure what to do. So many times members will call me, hey Roy, I don't know what to do. Should I take this job? Should I leave my wife? Should I do this? Should I do that? And I'll listen patiently, love and tolerance. And then I'll ask them a question. Hey boss, you have your big book with you? Yes. Please open to page 86, last paragraph. And page 86, last paragraph says, in thinking about our day, we may face indecision. We may not be sure what course of action to take. And then the golden line. Here we ask God. He did not say here we ask Roy. He said here we ask God for inspiration, a thought, an action, and then we relax, take it easy. We're quite surprised how the right answers come after we try this for a while. So I laugh and I tell the person who's called me boss, I can't manage my own life, and you're calling me and asking me what to do in your life. You must be crazy, man. The big book says ask God. You ask God and go take it easy. Go for a walk, play some soccer, watch a movie. The right answer will come after you tried it for a while. So how long is a while? I don't know. I started getting the answers after 2-3 months. What if I'm doubtful about things? Now you go to page 87, again the last 2 or 3 paragraphs. It says, look, as you go through the day, we may be agitated or doubtful. We may be unsure what to do. Here we ask God for the corrective thought or action, saying to ourselves, thy will be done. So that's it. Don't, oh, I called my sponsor and I didn't know what to do. Please show me in the big book where it says call your sponsor. It doesn't. It says ask God. So people call me and say, boss, why are you wasting your time? You should be praying instead of calling me. I don't know what to tell you. I have absolutely no idea. If you're having a legal problem, call your lawyer. If you're in a psychiatric problem, call your doctor. A medical problem, go to a hospital. If you have a relapse and recovery problem, go for a meeting, get a sponsor, do the steps, and go to a rehab. Do something. I don't know what to tell you. Far be it for me to give any advice. Now, is AA the only way to pray and meditate? We all AA members, we all at this meeting. So is this the only way? And here's what I love, the greatness of AA. So it says, look, if you belong to some religious movement that demands that you do certain things, pray in the morning or whatever it is, you do that. But it says there are many helpful books on spirituality and on prayer and on meditation. They said these have been written by religious people who are the experts for thousands of years. Make use of what they offer. Be quick, you know, to make use of what they offer. Very fantastic. What about the promises of the 11th step? It starts at the bottom of page 87. Number one, what used to be the hunch or the occasional inspiration gradually becomes a working part of the mind. Should I do this? Should I do? The answer will come. It's a hunch. It will come. Number two, our thinking will, as time passes, be more and more on the plane of inspiration. And inspiration, according to the dictionary, is a thought that comes from either deep within or from outside. Nobody knows where it comes from. Promise number three, we come to rely upon it, upon our thinking. Promise number four, we are in less danger of excitement, fear, anger, worry, self-pity, foolish decision. Number five, we become more efficient. Number six, we don't tire so easily, for we are not burning up energy foolishly trying to arrange life to suit ourselves. Boss, I'm almost 62 years old. I exercise in the morning, I swim, I cycle, I work about 8 hours a day. I have a lot of friends. I wake up at about 6:30 and I sleep at 1 a.m. I have all this energy. The promise of the 11th step. And my favorite promise on page 88. It works. It really does. Now, in the early days before the AA book was written, there was a pamphlet which was written how to talk to God. You know? And when I was in Akron last year, I had gone with some AA members. I actually saw that pamphlet at the Akron Intergroup office, so I got it. And I put a copy of it in the handout, which we'll give with the recording. And finally, we come to step 12. And again, just want to clarify that what I'm sharing is my experience on how I did the steps. Okay. There are other speakers who are really great. We have just finished step 11, where it says, sought through prayer and meditation to prove a conscious contact with God as we understood Him. Bring only for the knowledge of His will first and the power. And there are guys who can talk for 1 hour just on those 4 lines. But for me, I'm not a philosopher yet. I don't know how to do all those smart sounding talks and all those, wow, it sounds. I'm like a very practical guy. I'm like cut and dry. Boss, here's the pro step, and here is how I did the step, and here's what I'm getting from it. And then we came to step 12, having had a spiritual awakening. As the result of these steps, we try to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our faiths. Wow. What is a spiritual awakening? Please read Appendix 2 in the big. As a result of these steps, which steps? Step 1 to 11. We try to carry this message. Which message? The message that we have been reading from page 1. Alcoholism is an illness. Admit defeat. Acknowledge your insanity where alcohol is concerned. Turn your thinking and actions to a higher power. Take an inventory of your anger, fear, sexual conduct, and your harms. Share it with somebody else. See what all you find out your defects. Ask God to remove them. Make the list of people you've hurt. Start making the amends. Take constant inventory. This is the message. The message is not go for 90 meetings and bloody. I have not read that yet in the big book. 33 years I'm reading this book. Nowhere have I found make 90 meetings in 90 days. Nowhere I found call your sponsor every day and go to the sponsor mandir and write two agarbattis and do what your sponsor tells. Total BS. I don't know who are the jackasses who started all that nonsense. But anyway, it works for people, so good for them. Sorry, I have to be tolerant. It did not work for me. I apologize. So why do I need to do a 12 step? So on page 89 of the book, practical experience shows, Okay, that when I talk to another people and carry this message, then I can talk with confidence where others have failed. Why? Because I've succeeded. I've used the 12 steps of AA and it works. Life will take on new meaning. You know, when I first used the big book in 1990, nobody was interested in listening to the big book or the steps. They're all happy with the drunkalogs. And then I started to catch people who were slipping. So, boss, how did you slip? You listened to your sponsor, you did 90 meetings, you did the service, you did all that stuff. How you slipped? And eventually, I didn't do the steps. So I said, look, I don't want to sponsor you, but will you let me show you how to do the steps? And slowly, I started making, people started getting sober. And we became a core group of guys in Bombay, 5 of us. We were called the Big Book Bastards. You know, we'd go for meetings. We were talking big book. This is our experience. Old timers would say, someone say, boss, where's the hand? Where's that written in the book? Please show me. If it's not in the book, then it's your opinion. It's not the experience of AA. So we were not the nicest of people, but that's what it is. Now we want to know, how do I 12 step somebody? So there are currently, I think, uh, 2.5 million, 25 lakh AA members all over the world. So you may get 25 lakh different experiences of how they did the 12 step. And every experience is different. But the instructions of how to do a 12 step are given in the beginning. And those are pretty simple. How do you carry the message? First thing is on page 90. When you discover a prospect for AA, discover all you can about him. Get an idea of his behavior, his problems, his religion, everything possible that you can. Why? So that when you approach him, you would like to put yourself in the shoes. In Are, yaar, if I was in your shoes, this I would like to be approached. So, but what if the guy is not interested? Look what the big book says at page 90. If he does not want to stop, don't waste time. Written in the big book. You may spoil a later opportunity. In case you didn't get it on page 96, they said it again. Do not be discouraged if your prospect does not respond at once. Search out another alcoholic and try again. You're sure to find somebody desperate enough to eagerly accept what you have to. To spend too much time chasing one guy who's not interested in getting sober is to deny somebody else the opportunity to live and be happy. So that's it. The guy is not interested. Don't waste your time chasing him. Marne do se. If he wants, he knows where we are. But what if he does want to stop? Now you come to page 91. The second paragraph, it says, see your man alone if possible. Oh my God. All the sponsors you say, never go alone on a 12-step call, very dangerous. Obviously, they have not read the big book. The big book says, see your man alone. Okay. And what do? Tell him your story. How you drank, where you fell, what trouble you got into. That's all you have to tell him. I'll give you an example. In 1996, I was in Sharjah. 95, 96. There was no AA in Sharjah. And, I suddenly got a call from one Canadian lady. Said, oh, there's an Indian guy in Sharjah who wants to stop drinking. So now what should I do? Should I tell that fellow, oh, I'm so sorry, you want to stop drinking? Sorry, boss, I'm alone in Sharjah. And the old timers say, never go alone on a 12 step call. So, tu pike mar. Or you wait till we start a group in Sharjah and then two of us will come and talk. What bloody nonsense. Big book says, see your man alone. So I prayed. I went to his house. I told him, calm down. I didn't go into his flat. He was sober. He had drunk the night before. We walked up and down for about 1 hour till all his nasha came down. Then we took a taxi, went to Dubai, and introduced him to someone. He's still sober. He is now retired. He's come to Goa. I just gave him his 27-year coin last month. So this is what you do. If he wants to stop, go see the guy, tell him your story. How should I explain alcoholism? Page 92, Are, tell him how baffled you were, yaar. I couldn't understand why I couldn't stop drinking after 2. I couldn't understand why I always got stopped. Couldn't understand why I always broke my promises. Tell him about your struggles and explain the disease the way Dr. Silkworth has explained it. I can talk to the guy about the alcoholism because I have a solution. The doctor doesn't have a solution. The psychiatrist and psychologists don't have a solution. Unless they are very spiritual and they'll tell you go to a 12-step program. How should I explain the solution? Tell him exactly what happened to you, yeah? Boss, I didn't believe in God. I came to A. Everybody saying God, higher power, this, that, the other. I said, देख मेरे से नहीं होते ये. It's not happening with me. I don't have the power. But this group of people over here, all sober, their stories sound like my story. I will do what they did. And when the group used to stand up and say, God grant me serenity, I used to stand up and say, Group grant me serenity. That was my prayer. That's how I explain the spirit solution. Just live by spiritual principles. How should I explain the program? Should I start pulling out two big charts and draw, Venn diagrams of the steps? No. Outline the program of action, boss. Admit, yeah, I just told you about the disease. If it applies to you, then accept it. Admit defeat. Ask some, get help from some outside source, some higher power that you're comfortable with. Take a look at what you're pissed off about and afraid and talk about it with somebody. Clean up the past as best as you can. And if you know, escape your difficulties, I ask for only one thing. Please help somebody else and thank you very much for giving me time so I could speak to you. What if the guy wants to start right away? Page 90. Sometimes the man wants to start at once. And you might be tempted to do so. Come on, let's start going for meetings. Says this sometimes a mistake. Don't rush him. So what can I ask him instead? Give him homework. Give him a big book. So boss, buy a big book and put it in your car, one spare one. It's cheaper than a bottle of booze. And tell him you read the book. After you read it, call me. You have to decide for yourself. I don't need your wife, your best friend, anybody pushing. You decide. Read the stories at the back. Read this book and see if it sounds like something you might be interested in. Call me. So what if the guy calls you back? Page 96. Suppose you're making a second visit, or suppose the guy has called you. Now see the key. It says, having had the experience yourself, you can give him much practical advice. It doesn't say ask your sponsor before you can sponsor people. It doesn't say wait for bloody 1 year. Having had the experience yourself, you can give him much practical advice. I got sober on 22nd April 1990. I finished my steps by the first week of August. No, it was 3.5 months or something. And about a week after that, one guy asked me to sponsor him. I was asking my sponsor, what should I say? Matt, you've done the 12 step. Yes, show him what you did. That's it. That's what it says in the big book. Having had the experience yourself, you can give him much practical advice. What hope can I give him about my recovery? Go back to page 15, yeah? The joy of living we really have. Families are reunited. Businessmen have regained their reputation. All sorts of difficulties have been overcome. Oh, do I need to have the sponsor for life? Page 98. Burn the idea into the mind of every new prospect that he can get well regardless of anyone. Only condition is trust God. Step 2, 3, 6, 7, 11. Clean house. 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. Page 99, last 9. Remind the prospect his recovery is not dependent upon people. It is only dependent upon my relationship with God. Oh, so then am I supposed to abandon my sponsor and fire him after I finish the steps? Look what it says on page 100. What you and the new man, you who has done the steps and the new man, must now walk day by day in the path of spiritual purpose. So now it's side by side. Before I had done the steps, the guy hadn't done the steps. Now he's done the steps. He has recovered. We are side by side. Wow. Is there a job description? Yes. Page 102. Your job now is to be at a place where you can be of maximum service to others. So don't hesitate to go to the worst place on earth. God will keep you unharmed. And even back on page 77, they said, our real purpose is to fit ourselves to be of maximum service to God and the people about us. But what if I'm alone? And I experienced this in Sharjah. Page number 162. It says, thus we grow. And so can you. Even if you're only one person with this book in your hand, it contains all that we need to begin. And I swear to you, as one guy with the book in Bombay, nobody was interested in it. And I kept talking about it, my experience. And slowly, slowly, I was able to help a few people get sober. I don't know if anyone got sober. Some did, but I stayed sober. So should I continue to help others and attend meetings? Let us see what Dr. Bob says. So if we turn to page 181 of Dr. Bob's Nightmare, Dr. Bob says, I spend a great deal of time in passing on what I learned to others who want and need it badly. I do it for 4 reasons. Number 1 is a sense of duty. Number 2, it's a pleasure. Number 3, in doing so, I'm repaying my debt to the man who took time to pass it to me. And number 4, each time I do it, I'm taking a little more insurance against a possible slip. And boss, I spend a great deal of time, sharing my experience with people. I don't get paid for this. Nobody does. Now people call me and say, hey, can you speak here? Can you speak there? So, when I get calls to speak in the US, sometimes I have to wake up at 2 in the morning and stuff like that. Very hard. But it's a sense of duty. I have recovered from my alcoholism as the result of the 12 steps. It is a pleasure. Yeah, I like coming to these meetings and, seeing Shibu and my other friends. In doing so, I'm paying back my sponsor who took the time to share it. And every time I do it, some more insurance. I see people who are in and out of the meetings. I see people who keep relapsing. I see people who say, okay, I'm willing to try and get this done. I'd like to read something from the 12 and 12. It's not from the big book. You have a 12 and 12, it's on page 130. The AA member has to conform to the principles of recovery. His life actually depends on obedience to spiritual principles. If he deviates too far, the penalty is sure and swift. He sickens and dies. At first, he goes along because he must, but later he discovers a way of life he really wants to live. Moreover, he finds he cannot keep this priceless gift unless he gives it away. Neither he nor anybody else can survive unless he carries the AA message. And on page 174 of the 12, unless the AA member follows to the best of his ability our 12 suggested steps to recovery, he almost certainly signs on death warrant. His drunkenness and dissolution are not penalties inflicted by someone in authority. They result from his personal disobedience to spiritual principles. And is there an example of a 12-step call? Yeah. The example is of how Bill made the call on Dr. Bob and how Bill and Dr. Bob made the call on Bill D. So you go to page 153 and it starts over there that Bill W. goes to a western city, Akron. The trip failed. He's very discouraged. He wanted to talk to someone. He saw a bar in the Mayflower Hotel. The obsession takes over. He felt like drinking. And then God steps in, fear. And he says, boss, I can't do that. And he thanks God. He makes a few calls at church. They give him some phone numbers. He reaches the wife of Goodyear Tires. She introduces him to Dr. Bob. Bill goes and meets him. And he gives them this message: Dr. Bob gets sober. He had one relapse because he didn't want to make amends. And then they realize, boss, if we have to do this, you have to share this with someone else. So Dr. Bob calls the hospital. They said, yeah, we have an alcoholic. So they said, put him in the detox. On the third day, they went and met him. And what did they do at the first thing? For 1 hour, they told them the story, how they drank and where they fell. The guy said, yeah, I'm like that. Then they explained the disease, session allergy. They said, wow, I didn't know that. Then they told him the plan of action. Then they said, now you think about it, and they left. On the next day, when they came back, the guy said, boss, I am ready to do this. And on the third day, June 30th, he left the hospital. He never drank again. That was Bill D. So you see, our book is meant to be suggestive. We realize we know only a little. God will constantly disclose more to you and to us. But ask Him in your morning meditation what you can do for the man who's still sick. Great events will come to pass for you and countless others. This is a great fact to us, for us. Abandon yourself to God as you understand God. Give freely of what you have found and join us. We'll be with you in this fellowship of the Spirit, and you'll surely meet some of us. And may God bless you and keep you until then. Now, what's the timetable for taking the steps? Step 1, page 58. If you have decided that you want, you're ready for the steps. Step 2, page 47, as soon as. Step 3, page 60, being convinced. Step 4, page 63, next. Step 5, page 75, waste no time. 6, after 1 hour, page 75, 76. Page 7, page 7, when ready, page 76. Step 8, now, page 7. Step 9, now, page 76. Step 10, as we cleaned up the past, page 84. Step 11, at night, on awakening, when we are undecided, when we are doubtful. Step 12, your job now. So you see, we have a 12-step program, but there are only 11 chapters in the book. There's the doctor's opinion and 11 chapters. Why only 11 chapters? Actually, in the first edition, the doctor's opinion was chapter 1, so there were 12 chapters. But then they realized, we might be giving an impression that doctor's an alcoholic. So the doctor's opinion was separate and Bill's story became chapter 1. So we have only 11 chapters. You know what is chapter 12? Chapter 12 is your story, boss. How did you get sober? How did you spread this message to others? What has happened with your life? I've had a good life so far. I got sober. I got a job in Dubai. Then I got a job in the US. I went to college at the age of 35. I got married at age 38. Had a son at the age of 40. He's not seen either my wife or myself drink. Got married in recovery. I got divorced in recovery. A director of 4 different rehabs in the United States. I have my own business. I was able to come back to India at age 57, semi-retired. Help a lot of people when I can. Yes, in trying to live my life according to the big book, I think I made a difference in the lives of some people. So there's a choice before me. Am I going to take the steps, be happy, choice free, and help others? Or am I going to not? Choice is yours. So I really want to thank the Midnight Stars group for not only giving me a chance to share my experience, strength, and hope, but also listening so patiently. We have sent out the sharings and the PDFs of the first 2 weeks. And as soon as I get the recording